Very good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television. All the developing news stories at the top of this hour coming up ahead. Let us start with the top headlines. Top NDA leaders to meet over dinner in Delhi to discuss election results strategy. Prime Minister Modi likely to be present. NDA allies Nitish Kumar, Uddhav Thackeray, Ramvilas Paswan to attend meet. Opposition leaders to also meet to discuss post-poll alliances. Supreme Court dismisses plea on 100% matching of VVPAT slips with EVM, says cannot override CJI's order on the matter. Dismissal comes before opposition's meeting with the Election Commission on the issue. Supreme Court stays Delhi High Court order on retrospective effect of black money law. Issues notice to VVIP chopper scam accused Gautam Khaitan. Asks him to reply in 6 weeks. Adopt global practices to get recognition in international job market. Vice President Naidu tells management institutes. Addressing convocation ceremony at a Chennai institute, urges students to equip themselves with knowledge, constantly upgrade skills. And Sushma Swaraj to represent India at Shanghai Cooperation Organization's foreign ministers meet in Kyrgyz capital Bishkek. Two-day talks from today to focus on issues facing the region, including terrorism. First up, all of the election-related news. Ahead of the declaration of election results on 23rd of May, top leaders of the National Democratic Alliance or the NDA will meet over dinner today in New Delhi. BJP President Amit Shah and NDA leaders will chalk out a strategy on the possible outcome of the general election. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also expected to be present in the meeting. Bihar Chief Minister and JDU President Nitish Kumar, Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Thackeray and Lok Janshakti Party head Ramvilas Paswan will attend the meeting. A meeting of the senior BJP leaders is also scheduled to be held at the party headquarters before the dinner meeting. And our colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us live from the newsroom for more on this story. Akhilesh, talking about this very significant NDA meet, of course, they are going to meet over dinner, the NDA leaders. Separately, BJP leaders are also meeting and there is an opposition party meeting as well. What all is expected to happen ahead of the declaration of results on 23rd?
Right. In a way, it's a crucial meeting, but it's an informal meeting. You know, after 1.5 months of hectic electioneering process, it's very natural for a party that is claiming to come in power again to review the whole situation. And you know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP President Amit Shah and all other leaders of BJP were here and there all over the country, and now this is time to review that how it happened and what electioneering process went, what is the assessment of individual leaders and what they are thinking in the group. So all these things are going to be discussed, and I think that every member will give their own assessment of how many seats they are going to have after the 23rd May results are coming. So you know that in a way it is also, you know, clarifying issues, that how we raised the issue, how we got it done, and what was the type of cooperation from the other NDA partners, because BJP is the biggest NDA partner, and that is why they want to meet before they are going to meet NDA meeting in the evening around 7:30. They are going to have a dinner meeting in Hotel Asoka, but at 4:30 p.m. They will have a separate meeting of BJP leaders, including parliamentary leaders, whoever big leaders are available here. They have been called by BJP President Amit Shah. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also expected to attend both the meetings. So I think this is a very crucial informal meeting in a way to understand how things go, and they will also, you know, foresee that what opposition move can be, because in the whole election process you have seen that there had been hectic, you know, accusations from both the sides, either from the BJP or from the opposition side, They have been trying to score the points over each other. So what will happen after 23rd May results are coming out, what they have to, who they have to talk, who they have to again manage the things. So I think this is, to understand, foresee the situation after 23rd May. Aishwarya.
All right, Akhilesh. Thank you so much for all those updates on that very crucial NDA meeting that is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. As Akhilesh was telling us, we'll keep getting you all the updates on that big story. Meanwhile, the opposition leaders of the are also meeting in the national capital today to discuss the possibility of a non-NDA alliance to stake claim for government formation. Now, as part of the efforts to unite the opposition, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister and TDP leader N. Chandrababu Naidu held a meeting with his West Bengal counterpart Mamata Banerjee in Kolkata on forming a non-BJP government at the centre in the case of a hung verdict. Mahagathbandhan alliance partners in Uttar Pradesh, namely Akhilesh Yadav and Mayawati, also held a meeting and discussed their strategy going forward. Meanwhile, another big developing story, the Supreme Court has dismissed a PIL seeking 100% matching of the VVPAT slips with the electronic voting machines during the counting of votes on 23rd of May for Lok Sabha polls. Now, a vacation bench of the top court refused to entertain the plea filed by a Chennai-based organization, saying that a larger bench headed by the Chief Justice has already passed an order on this matter. Earlier this month, the Apex Court had dismissed a review plea filed by the opposition leaders seeking a random matching of VVPAT slips with the EVMs increased to 50%. Now, this dismissal comes on a day when 21 opposition party leaders will meet the Election Commission today to raise the issue of a tallying paper trail of the votes with electronic voting machine figures as per the Supreme Court directions. The opposition parties are demanding tallying of VVPAT slips with the EVM figures in an entire assembly constituency in case a discrepancy is found in any polling booth. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has also taken steps to ensure that no post-poll violence takes place in West Bengal. The poll panel has clamped Section 144 in Bhatpara in North 24 Parganas district after violence in the area during the assembly by-election on Sunday. The Election Commission had sought a report from the district magistrate on the Sunday's poll-related violence in Bhatpara. And the EC has also ordered around 200 companies of the central forces to remain in the state of West Bengal till 27th of May. This is to avert any post-poll violence in the state. And Finance Minister Arun Jaitly has expressed hope that the results of the 2019 general elections would be in accordance with the outcome of the multiple exit polls. In his recent blog post, Arun Jaitly said that the exit polls are based on personal interviews and that the EVMs have no role in it. Targeting the opposition on the issue of EVM malfunctioning, Arun Jaitly said that the issue would lose its non-existent rationale if the results of the exit poll and the final results are in the same direction. He also said that voters are no longer willing to trust a coalition of rivals and will not elect a hung parliament where untenable coalitions have a role to play. So those were all the election-related news ahead of the counting of votes on 23rd of May. Let's get to some other news. Former President Pranab Mukherjee has lauded the role of the Election Commission, saying that the 2019 Lok Sabha polls were conducted perfectly. Speaking at a book launch event in New Delhi, he said that right from the first election commissioner to the present election commissioners, the institution is working very well. He added that democracy has succeeded in India due to the perfect conduct of polls by the Election Commission.
Just now we have concluded the biggest democratic festival, grand election to the 17th Lok Sabha. The Chief Election Commission Sukumar Sen began in October 1951 and ended in April 1952. We began this great festival, and since then Indian people, Indian electorate, have never lost their faith and confidence.
The former president also said that the Indian electorate has never lost confidence in the elections and said that the present election commissioners are doing their job well. His remarks comes at a time when the election commission is under fire from the opposition parties for being biased.
And find out a suggestion that as there is some doubt about the functioning of the election commission during this election, there should be a different mode of choosing the members of the election commission. There may be some viewpoints, but at the same time we shall have to keep in mind the way the first general election was conducted. Of course, the size was not so big. India's total population was 350 million. Voting age was 21 years. But nonetheless, electorate were ignorant. For the first time, adult franchise was exercised in this country. And it was done by so successfully a civil servant that he was invited to conduct the plebiscite in Sudan. And the street in Khartoum has been named after Sukumar Sen Street. He was appointed by the executive. All the chief election commissioners have been appointed by the executive till date.
And the nomination process for the Assam Rajya Sabha polls will begin today with the issue of notification. The last day for filing of nomination is 28th of May and the scrutiny of nominations will be done on 29th of May and the last day for the withdrawal of nominations is 31st of May. Polling for filling up the 2 vacancies in Rajya Sabha from Assam will take place on 7th of June and the counting of votes will be done on the same day. The seats are represented by former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and Congress member Santiyus Kujur, whose tenure are completing in the upper house on 14th of June. The Supreme Court stayed Delhi High Court's order that stated that the black money law can be applied prior to 1st of April 2016. A 2-judge vacation bench also stayed the 16th of May order of the High Court, which had restrained the Income Tax Department from taking any action against VVIP chopper scam accused Gautam Khaitan, against whom a black money case has been lodged. The bench issued a notice to Khaitan and asked him to file a response to the government's position within 6 weeks. And CBI has given a clean chit to former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Mulayam Singh Yadav and son Akhilesh Yadav in a disproportionate assets case. The CBI filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court in which they said that they did not find any evidence to register a case against both of them in the disproportionate assets case, which was registered in 2007. The CBI had registered the case in 2007 for preliminary inquiry following the directions of the Supreme Court in a writ petition filed by Congress worker Vishwanath Chaturvedi. In midday news, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news on the other side. Stay with us.
The indelible ink refers to violet-colored ink applied on a voter's forefinger after he or she exercises vote. In 1962, the Election Commission made an agreement with Mysore Paints and Varnish Limited to manufacture ink. Mysore Paints supplies ink for civic body, assembly and parliamentary polls. The indelible ink remains bright for about 10 days. The indelible ink contains silver nitrate and is manufactured in secrecy. The ink is applied on the left hand index finger of the voter. the Election Commission ordered 26 lakh bottles for the 29 Lok Sabha polls. The lab is now developing invisible ink which is visible under amber light.
लोकसभा चुनाव के 7 फेरों के बाद अब ईवीएम में दर्ज है जनता का फैसला। इस दौरान कहीं प्रत्याशी के रंग में रंगा रहा इलाका तो कहीं कहीं मुद्दों ने भी मोर्चा संभाला। मतों की गणना में किस नेतृत्व का इशारा होगा, कैसे गठबंधन होंगे, किस तरह से मजबूत लोकतंत्र हमारा होगा। चौकन्ना जनमत कैसे उकेरेगा 17वीं संसद की तस्वीर। जन जन का मत क्या कहेगा, सुनिएगा 23 मई को मेरे यानी डॉक्टर शिप्रा माथुर के साथ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Welcome back. News from Madhya Pradesh now, where the BJP has asked Governor Anandiben Patel to convene a special session of the Madhya Pradesh Assembly to discuss immediate and burning issues. The BJP wrote to Governor Anandiben Patel demanding the Congress government led by Kamal Nath to prove its majority in the House. In the Assembly polls last year, the Congress had won 114 of the state's 230 seats, too short of the majority mark of 116. The Bahujan Samaj Party, having 2 MLAs, and the Samajwadi Party with 1 MLA are supporting the Congress with 4 independents. The BJP had 109 seats in the state elections. And BJP's Gopal Bhargav said that they want a discussion on important issues like the farm loan waiver and test the government's strength in the Assembly. The Congress claimed that the BJP is trying to destabilize the Kamal Nath government in the state. The ruling party said that it is ready to prove majority.
गवर्नर साहिबा से हम ये मांग कर रहे हैं कि बहुत से ज्वलंत मुद्दे हैं। 6 महीने विधानसभा चुनाव को हो गए, कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार बने हो गए। एक विधायक बहुजन समाज पार्टी के इनके साथ है, एक विधायक समाजवादी पार्टी के इनके साथ में है, इनके साथ में बाकी 4 निर्दलीय विधायक हैं और इनके अंदर भी काफ़ी अलग अलग गुट हैं। कोई कहता 2.5 मुख्यमंत्री की सरकार है, कोई कहता 3 की है, कोई कहता 3.5 मुख्यमंत्री की सरकार है। ऐसी परिस्थितियों में हम एक कैसे कह सकते हैं कि सरकार स्थिर है और पूरे प्रदेश में घोर प्रशासनिक अराजकता व्याप्त हो गई है। अब तो लोगों की जनभावनाओं को दृष्टिगत रखते हुए हमें विधानसभा का सत्र बुलाना पड़ेगा।
पहले दिन से कर रहे थे। पिछले 5 महीनों में 4 दफे हमने अपनी बहुमत सिद्ध करी है।
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will attend Shanghai Cooperation Organization Foreign Ministers Meet in Bishkek today. The 2-day meeting begins from today. This will be the second CFM meeting that India will be attending as a full member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The Council of Foreign Ministers will also exchange views on important issues of international and regional importance. And at the meeting in Bishkek, Sushma Swaraj is expected to take up the issue of cross-border terror attacks from Pakistan and also India's response to it. Sushma Swaraj's program in Bishkek also includes a meeting of the Council of SCO Foreign Ministers and also a joint call of the SCO Foreign Ministers on Kyrgyz President. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has called upon management institutions to adopt globally accepted teaching practices, methodologies and curriculum. This to ensure that Indian students get duly recognized in the global job market. Delivering the convocation address at the Great Lake Institute of Management in Chennai, Vice President Naidu said that Indian institutes should capitalize on the opportunities offered by partnering with the prominent global institutions as well. He said that the students were joining India's growth story at a very exciting juncture. He added that India has emerged as an attractive destination for global investors and has become the second largest global hub for startups. He also urged the students to keep upgrading their skills.
I expect from the management institutions like yours to expand their horizons to provide solutions to these sectors. I am happy to learn that your institution has been awarded the prestigious Atal Innovation Mission grant to set up an incubator. This, along with competency in artificial intelligence, IoT, machine learning, algorithmic analytics and blockchain, will encourage young students and researchers to experiment with new ideas and innovations. You have created a simulated ecosystem to promote innovation among young entrepreneurs. The Tinkering Clinic, Mentor Clinic, Consulting Clinic, Design Clinic will allow the growth of many new ideas and foster innovation and entrepreneurship.
The nation is paying tribute to former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi on his 28th death anniversary today. Former President Pranab Mukherjee, former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and Congress President Rahul Gandhi paid homage to the former Prime Minister at his memorial Veer Bhumi today. Rahul Gandhi was accompanied by his mother and UP chairperson Sonia Gandhi, sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and other senior Congress leaders. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid tributes to former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi on microblogging site Twitter. Let's get to some international news now. Ford Motor said on Monday that it was near a finish line in its two-year effort to pare its workforce. The company said that it would lay off 500 employees in the United States this week and an unspecified number over the next several weeks as well. Now, this is a part of a broader plan to shrink its salaried ranks by 7,000 people or 10%, with the sharpest cuts at the higher ranks. Ford's chief executive Jim Hackett said in an email to the employees that this will result in the annual savings of about $600 million. Hackett has been cutting costs in a push to increase profits in the face of slowing sales, especially in Europe, South America and Asia. And Chinese technology giant Huawei has been granted a 90-day temporary license to maintain its networks and continue dealing with the US companies. The move scales back the restrictions that the US imposed on it last week when the company was added to a blacklist by the White House. Now, this extension will allow Huawei to purchase US-made goods in order to maintain the existing networks and provide software updates to the existing Huawei's handsets. However, the company is still prohibited from buying American parts and components to manufacture new products. Now, this extension period will be effective starting 20th of May and will last through 19th of August this year. Huawei Technologies is one of the 69 companies that has been added to the US export blacklist as the US believes that the company's products pose a national security risk. Huawei is one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world. However, it could quickly lose its grip on the number 2 ranking in the worldwide cell phone sales after Google announced that it would comply with the US government restrictions that are meant to punish the Chinese tech powerhouse. Big story coming from Indonesia. Joko Widodo has been re-elected as Indonesia's president after last month's vote, beating former General Prabowo Subianto. The Election Commission of the country said that Joko Widodo won 55.5% of the vote to Prabowo's 44.5%. The result was released a day ahead of schedule on Tuesday amid fears of violent unrest. Around 32,000 security personnel were deployed across the capital, Jakarta. Now, Prabowo Subianto is a former general who also ran against Widodo in 2014. He has not confirmed if he will challenge the result in the court. Ahead of the final tally, he had alleged widespread cheating and had warned of protests. In 2014, Prabowo had lost a court challenge following an election defeat by Widodo. The latest vote followed a bitter campaign in which religion played a key role. But independent observers have said that it was free and fair. More than 192 million people were eligible to vote in the 17th of April poll, choosing 20,000 local and national lawmakers. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks so much for your time.